Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Bobby. Guys, I haven't vlogged in a while. Right now I'm here in Vietnam, Pan Thiep, if I pronounce that right. And we're gonna visit the sand dunes today. I lost my shape now.
Why?
Why? Because I'm eating fish. So the fat you eat is the fat you wear.
Saw you, because be careful, telephone and money.
Okay.
About people stealing there?
Yes.
A as adorable. A as amazing. A for awesome.
A for asshole.
Yeah, you are awesome. He's an asshole.
Alright guys, so that sums up the morning, and now we're going to proceed to a what I eat in a day video, finally transitioning from a vegan diet into a more omnivorous diet. It is 12 a.m. right now and I'm still fasted. I haven't eaten in around about 16 hours. I'm going to break my fast with a vegan meal and we're going to go from there. Alright, starting off the day with some vegan matrix sludge. I'm still using a plant-based protein powder and I do not see any reason to change that. As for right now, I'm using a no-name soy protein isolate, which I picked up here in Thailand. I still have a little bit of it left. This is the reason why I use it. If I can get my hands onto some pea protein powder, I will in the near future. I don't see any reason for whey protein in my diet. I do not want to consume any dairy. I mix up the protein powder until it gets somewhat of a yogurt consistency. After that, I top it up with some white rice. White rice is very easy to digest. And then I top it off with some fresh Vietnamese mango. That sums it up. Very simple, basic, plant-based meal to stop my fast and kick off the day. Alright, meal number 2, we are eating out in a seafood restaurant that sources everything locally. This is where I met this little puppy, super cute. I couldn't resist to pet him, and later on you're gonna see that I shared my lunch with him as well. So this wasn't easy coming from a vegan diet, obviously, but this is what I mean when I say locally sourced. If we're talking about the global footprint, then we have to be honest to ourselves and admit that eating local seafood here in Vietnam is obviously much better for the environment than to eat in vegan restaurants. I went to a vegan restaurant around here and I saw they were serving quinoa and chia seeds from South America, cashew nuts from God knows where, all kinds of imported superfoods. We have to be honest here, and in this case we have to admit that eating fish is more vegan than actually going to the vegan restaurant. I know it is hard to watch if you are a vegan, and it's still not easy for me, but I want to connect to my food. I truly want to understand where it is coming from. I do not want to delude myself, just walk into the supermarket, close my eyes and pretend that it's not a dead animal. I always need to confront my choices. In this transition, I had to come to terms with it. I chose a barracuda fillet with some white rice. As I said, the white rice is very easy to digest, and the same goes for the barracuda fillet. Out of all animal sources, fish is the easiest to digest. I'm giving my gut a rest. I'm giving myself a break from all of those legumes, nuts, grains, starchy vegetables, and whatnot. If you've been following me, you know that my gut was suffering. I had tremendous digestive issues. As you can see, the quantity of the meal is very, very small. And that is the biggest benefit. I know that vegans want to brag about how big their plates are, that you can eat so much because plants are lower in calories. But that is the biggest issue here. That is actually a negative. You are taxing your gut, your intestines with so much fiber. This will lead to problems over time. This is what happened to me in the second and the third year as a vegan. Therefore, with this type of meal, you're getting much more bang for your buck, so to speak. Much smaller portion, but much more satiety. I feel so much happier, I'm so much more satisfied, and I feel full and strong after this meal. And there he is again, my little friend enjoys the fish as well. According to Freely, a very unethical creature. No morals, this little dog, huh? Nah, but jokes aside, as you can see, this little dog truly enjoyed the fish, and so did I. I really learn a lot from dogs. Back in the day, I had dogs myself, and lately I've been thinking about those times when I was sharing meat with my dogs. I know in the vegan community all the animals are equal, and I agree that all life has equal value, but you cannot deny that certain animals just formed different social bonds with the human species. When I think about my cousins in Macedonia, they go hunting with their dogs, and the dogs will accompany them and help them catch the prey. So therefore you can clearly see that there are differences between animals, and there are differences between the relationship of humans and animals. I'm ending the meal with a Vietnamese coffee. It is my absolute favorite drink. Nowadays I'm not drinking coffee every day, but whilst in Vietnam I cannot resist, and I just have to indulge in the Vietnamese iced coffee. Alright, meal number 3, it's sushi time. My favorite time of the day. If I could, I would eat only raw fish every single day for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Unfortunately, it is very, very pricey. And as I said before, talking about the global footprint, it is of course better to support the local fishermen. But the energy that I'm getting from sushi is unparalleled. You cannot compare raw animal products to cooked animal products. Cooked animal products will of course still provide nutrition, but the feeling, the sensation that you get when you bite onto raw flesh is unparalleled. Honestly, it was hard for me in the beginning, transitioning from a vegan diet, but after 2 or 3 days,
out of a sudden your brain makes the connection, and it feels truly as if you just discovered the species-specific diet. I know in the past I would always make the statement that we are omnivores and hence we can eat whatever we want to eat. But I have to be honest here, I never experienced anything remotely similar to the sensation that rushes through my body when I ingest raw fish. It is as if your brain lights up. Shortly after, you feel like your brain is climaxing and that orgasmic feeling is spreading through your body. I am not exaggerating here. This is truly how I feel when I eat sushi and sashimi. The feeling is indescribable. Just look at those colors, the bright orange of the salmon and the deep penetrating red of the raw tuna. It is absolutely fascinating. Thinking back to my vegan days, I would pass by Japanese restaurants very often and I would find myself fantasizing about having some sushi, projecting into the future that someday we will have lab-grown fish and I can enjoy sushi again. Back in the day, I really had an ethical issue with it. But as I said, guys, once you try it for yourself, you will truly understand my statement. I really believe that the Japanese have it figured out. They're eating raw animal products, they're eating raw fish, raw eggs, raw beef, raw chicken. The starches, on the other hand, cannot be eaten raw, obviously, and hence they're cooking their rice and their sweet potatoes. The vegetables, on the other hand, are fermented, and on top of that, they're eating seafood. Not many fruits though. I really believe that the Japanese diet is in many ways the optimal human diet. Meal number 4, the last meal of the day, will be plant-based again. It is just a very practical way to eat on the road. Protein powder with some fruits. This time I'm choosing a papaya instead of the mango, again local fruit, and I just mix it up with the same soy protein powder. It is obviously not an ideal meal, and in many ways the whole what I eat in a day is not perfect or ideal. It is just how I eat on the road during a visa run. But what I have to emphasize here is that without much planning I'm still able to get many nutrients in, and most importantly to feel satisfied, happy and strong after eating my meals. Whilst I was vegan, I had to put in so much planning into my meals. I had to calculate every little micro and macronutrient, and I would still feel hungry and unsatisfied after my meals. Nowadays I realize that I can have 1 or 2 plant-based meals a day, as long as I'm still eating quality animal products. Many of you ask me if I'm still eating eggs, if I started eating meat or whatnot. Most of the time I'm just eating fish. But guys, the whole shift had one major purpose. I do not want to label myself anymore. As you see, technically you could call this day 50% plant-based and 50% pescatarian. But I really do not care for labels. I do not want to put myself into a box. It is all about being present in the moment and making the wisest choice in that moment. Truth, right and wrong depends on the present moment. You cannot force it. If you're not thirsty, do not drink. If you're starving, eat. Even Buddhist monks eat meat occasionally. I have no interest in eating meat. As you just saw, I didn't even eat any eggs today. But the most important thing for me is to be without label, to be absolutely free in my decision, to be, as Bruce Lee said, water, my friend.
Alright guys, and this is it for today's video. If you liked it, leave me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. And as always guys, much love and peace.